Chesney Hawks here. You are watching My Hammers 11 with the one and only Russ.
Hi everybody, don't know why I'm waving. You're not there. Russ and My Hammers 11, hope you're all safe and well. If you're new to the channel, why don't you consider subscribing? Becoming a member, why not? Hitting the bell icon to be notified anytime we put new content on. As always, so that's like a channel sponsor. Untuck it. Check out the description below. So, Euros. I'm in the mood now. I wasn't in the mood. I'll be honest, I wasn't in the mood. I am now. Come on, England. England later today. Very excited. And it got me thinking. Well, firstly, if you want some good music to get you going, an England song, why don't you listen to Good Times Again by Paul Fake? He was on My Hammers 11 the other day, massive West Ham fan. Town Lens got involved with the animation video, which is fantastic. Available on all streaming platforms. Get involved. Also, it's Father's Day soon. Don't forget, untuck it, get some shirts or get a nice t-shirt, or maybe give him the gift of freshly shaven testicles with Manscaped. 20% off plus free shipping if you use the promo code WestH20 at checkout. Anyway, it's got me thinking about England and Euros and how many players have played for England whilst still playing for West Ham. Obviously, a lot of players have left and gone on to have a fantastic international career. In fact, go listen to Tony Carr's My Hammers 11. It's pretty much the England World Cup squad of 2010, in all honesty. But how many played for England while still playing for West Ham? Did a bit of research for you. And I found actually it's not a lot. 43 players in our entire history have played for England while still playing for West Ham, which equates to 444 caps. And I also found out, I don't know if anyone else has been aware of this, in 1966, we had 3 players in the starting lineup in the World Cup final, including the captain, the guy who scored a hat-trick in the final, and the guy who scored the other goal in the final as well. Mental. Just a little bit of knowledge I thought I'd impart to you guys if you weren't aware of that fact. So actually, if you think about it, one player himself, the captain of England at that time, he equated for 108 of those 444. So, that would take it down to about 336, something like that. So it's not a lot, but actually, I think it's important to go through them. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to go through them chronologically. Now, people like Nigel Khan, I imagine, will be able to reel these off like it's the 50 states alphabetically that some people can do of America. But for a lot of people, like myself, I've never heard of some of these players, so it was interesting to go through and sort of see, chronologically, who played for England, how many appearances they made, that type of thing. First on the list, the first player to ever play for England while still playing for West Ham was this gentleman. His name was George Webb. In 1911, he made 2 appearances for England. He had 2 caps while still playing for West Ham. So George Webb was our first ever player. Next, chronologically, was our record all-time goal scorer, Vic Watson, who ended up playing 5 times for England between 1923 and 1930. After Vic, it was this gentleman, Jack Tresden. Yeah. He had also 2 caps in 1923. 1923 was a good year for West Ham debut caps. That's fair to say, because also in 1923, this gentleman, his name was Billy Moore, or William Moore. So Billy Moore had a single appearance for the club, for England, and so did the first cap for Ted Houghton. 6 appearances for England between 1923 and 1929. By the looks of it, the first goalkeeper, I want to say, to the first England goalkeeper we had on our books. Potentially. After Ted, we had also in 1923, we had this gentleman, Billy Brown, who looks like I could have taken this picture from someone walking out of a pub in Hornchurch, like on a Friday night. Now, that hairstyle's back in it. It's mental, isn't it? And that was 1923. He was in. After Bill, we had a 3-year gap to our next. No, actually, it wasn't a 3-year gap, but until our next debutant, rather, which was Jimmy Ruffle. 1926 and 1929. He represented England and had 6 caps. After Jimmy, we had Stan Earl, who had a solitary cap in 1927. Then we had Jim Barrett. He had a solitary cap in 1928. And then we had a little bit of a gap until 1937, when Len Gordon, he had 14 caps for England between 1937 and 1939. Then straight after that is also 1937. We had a single cap for Jackie Morton. And then we're going to start getting into players that you've probably heard of, I think, to be perfectly honest, because that was 1937. We then had a long gap. I think the last time a player had played for England for West Ham was 1939, obviously the war and stuff like that, 1939. It wasn't until 1959, some 20 years later, that our next England player was, and that was Ken Brown. He had a single appearance for England in 1959, and then we had a little bit of a gap, 3 years, and then this gentleman turned up. You may have heard of him. His name is Bobby Moore. He went on to obviously have 108 appearances for England, 108 caps between 62 and 73, and obviously famously, lifted the World Cup in 1966. In 1963, Budgie Byrne had 10 caps between 63 and 65. Oh, I love that picture. Such a friendly smile. And then in 1966, between 1966 and 1972, Sir Geoff Hurst had 49 caps for England. Also in 1966, between 66 and 70, Mr. Martin Peters had 33 caps, and obviously Sir Geoff and Martin, obviously both scoring in the World Cup final in 1966, as you will no doubt be made aware of. After that, Mr. Frank Lampard Sr. with 2 appearances for England between 72 and 1980. So that was some gap. I think there's about an 8-year gap between his 2 caps, which is mental. In 1974, Sir Trevor, his first cap for England whilst playing for West Ham, and ended up going on to make 47 appearances between 74 and 82. Then we had Dev himself. Dev had 8 appearances between 1980 and 1983, and then he had no hair, but we didn't care. But he had hair when he was playing for England. Alvy Martin Stretch had in 17 caps for England between 81 and 86. Obviously, famously was dropped for that game against Maradona in the World Cup in 1986. After that, the next one chronologically was Paul Goddard, who had a single cap in 1982. Tony Cottee had 3 caps for England whilst playing for West Ham between 86 and 88. And then we had a long gap. Cottee was 88. We had to wait 9 years until our next England player, which was Mr. Rio Ferdinand, who made 10 appearances for England whilst playing for West Ham between 97 and 2000. Ian Wright had 2 caps for England in 1988 whilst playing for West Ham. So too had 2 caps for Stuart Pearce at the age of 37, something like that. In 1999, he had 2 caps for England whilst playing for West Ham. Frank Lampard Jr. had 2 caps for England between 1999 and 2001. Joe Cole had 10 caps for England between 2001 and 2003. Mickey Carrick had 2 caps in 2001. That was a good season for us. We had a lot of players playing for England, it seemed. So too, David James. He had 17 caps for us between 2001 and 2002. And obviously, we went down in 2002 with all these players. It was mental. Also, in 2001 was Trevor Sinclair, who had 11 caps between 01 and 03, including obviously the World Cup, same as JMO. Then we had a little bit of a gap, a couple of years until Conch got a single cap. We've done well. We had David James, Trevor Sinclair, and Paul Konchesky all have been in my Hammers 11. Also, as well as a few others as well, like Devon people and Tony Cottee. 1 cap in 2005. Kieran Dyer was fit enough to play 1 game for England in 2007 whilst playing for West Ham. Matthew Upson had 14 caps for England between 08 and 2010. Also in 08, Mr. Ashton had a solitary cap for England, and then obviously we know what then happened after that, unfortunately. But it's in 2008. Colton Cole had 7 caps for England between 2009 and 2010. Robbie Green, England number 6. He was England number 1 for 11 caps between 2009 and obviously 2012. Scotty Parker had 3 caps in 2011. Super Andy Carroll had 1 cap in 2012. Then also had 1 cap was Stuart Downing in 2014, famously getting back into England squad when Sam moved him into that. Remember the top of the diamond? Remember that very well. After that, We had 3 caps for the man who wears a magic hat, Aaron Cresswell, between 2006 and 2007. Then Joe Hart had 4 caps in 2017. And then Captain Fantastic last season, Declan Rice, currently on 17 caps for England. And we hope that will increase today. Later on today, I hope that increases to 18 caps. And then also, whilst playing for England, whilst playing for West Ham, Jesse Lingard, with all the since he joined, 5 times he played for England whilst playing for West Ham in that season. So getting back into the England squad and playing a number of the friendlies and stuff and the qualifiers. So as I said, that equates to 43 players and 444 caps. Some great players there who didn't play. And obviously, there's a lot of players who didn't play for England. We know like people like Billy Bonds and Julian Dix and Mark Noble. And Phil Parkes didn't play for England when he was at West Ham. He had his 1 cap for England was in 74, I want to say. People will correct me if I'm wrong, but he didn't sign until 79. And lots of players like that is mental. Anyway, come on, England. I hope it gets everyone geared up. Something a bit different. Anyway, if you didn't like it, fair enough. If you did like it, give it a like, give it a share, give it a subscribe. And until next time, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Come on, England. It's coming home. Come on, you Irons. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Much love.